It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 Dick, 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 go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
I mean, really?
We're now joined by a third-place finisher in today's Dickies 500, Jamie McMurray. Jamie's third-place finish marks the third top-5 finish at Texas Motor Speedway. Jamie, talk about your night tonight.
Well, at the beginning of the race, you just you're kind of just logging laps. But our car was I was a little bit worried in happy hour because the car didn't drive very good. It seemed to have good speed, but it didn't drive as good as it did at Charlotte and Atlanta. And we ran really well at those tracks. But when the race started, it just seemed to have a lot of grip. And I searched around a little bit, found a groove that worked for me, and just kind of rode it out. I think we had probably the second best car at the beginning. Carl was really fast at the start of the race, so he was able to get through lap traffic a little bit better also.
Go ahead and open up for questions. Please state your name and affiliation. Austin.
Yeah, Austin Kilgore, Dallas Blog. That last pit stop, when you guys kind of strategized, took 2 tires, got out front. In a situation like that where you've got your teammate Carl, leading the race and he's battling in the chase, does it ever cross your mind, in your strategy as far as looking out for them and doing something that would maybe help them at your detriment, or you guys are just always for you guys?
I mean, I think if you're racing for 10th, it's different. I mean, when you're racing for a win, it's hard to win at this level, and you certainly wouldn't do anything to hurt those guys. But nobody in the sport's going to give up a win to help somebody gain 2 or 3 points, or 3 or 5 points, whatever it would be. So no.
Matt Baker, Dallas Morning News. What did you think of your crew chief's decision to have you pit there at the end?
Well, I mean, I don't figure fuel mileage, and I think that he just did a wonderful job tonight with calling for the 2 tires with 70 laps to go, or however many there were. And then, when I asked him what lap we were going to pit with, and he said with 12 to go, and in my head I thought 12 laps to go. It's hard to save 12 laps of fuel. That's not. I mean, guys just don't do that. So I didn't really think that anyone was going to be able to make it. And then, for your teammate to make it and you not. But I talked to the engineer right after the race, and he's like, it just wasn't even close for us. He kind of told me the mileage they'd have to get and the mileage that we were getting, and he's like, we just didn't really have that choice.
We're now joined by second-place finisher in today's Dickies 500, Jeff Gordon. Jeff tied his career best finish at Texas Motor Speedway and now has 6 top 5 finishes at Texas Motor Speedway. Jeff, you started on the pole. Up and down day for you. Talk about your run.
Yeah, I was pretty optimistic when the green flag dropped. Took off there. Car felt great, and we started. Car started going away a little bit, but we maintained top 5, and every time typical Texas, we just started losing the handle on it as the sun went down, and lost that track position on one run where we got real loose. And so, man, what a struggle it was when we got when that happened, and just holding on tight and lost a lap. But the cautions fell our way. The team never gave up. Real proud of them. And then Steve Letarte made a great call there and it kind of fell our way. But he still he thought about if it went all the way on fuel, and that's what it takes to come home second on a day like today, because. We were a lap short, but we came in and fueled up and made some adjustments, and car was really pretty good on that last run. And then he said, "Hey, I think we're going to be a lap short." And I knew I conserved a little bit, and I thought we could make it, and we did. So he was apologizing to me because he thought we were going to get us a win, and I said, "Man, you can't apologize about finishing second a day like today. That was like a win."
Any more questions for Jamie down here in the media center? Press box, any questions for Jamie?
Yes, we have one for Jamie.
Yes, Jim Pedley with the Kansas City Star. Jamie, that's 3 top 10s in about 4 races. Is there a sense that this team is starting to come together?
Really, since Dover, we led at the beginning of the race and got involved in a wreck. Our cars have been top 10 cars about every race, and we've run the top 5 like 2 of the last 3. And really not doing anything different. It just seems like we're able to make better adjustments to the cars. And really, when we unloaded here, we were horrible. And they came in and sat in the garage for about 10 minutes, and they made a couple of adjustments, and I pulled back out, and I'm like, it drives great. And you just don't get to have that very often. Typically, if you don't unload well, it's hard to get your car right. But they've our sim program that we have at Roush Fenway. It's incredible how they can make our cars drive as well as they can. Giving us like a starting setup. So I don't know. I mean, it certainly is nice to be able to run this way at the end of the year, because I feel like the guys that run well towards the end of the season are able to start next year, running that same way. So hopefully we can get through Phoenix and Homestead, and those are 2 tracks I really enjoy.
Any more questions in the press box from Jamie?
Yes, we have one for Jamie and 4-time, both.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. For either drivers, usually in a fuel mileage race, the winning car is a top 10 car that just kind of gambles. It's not usually the car that leads the most laps. Can you guys talk about maybe the oddity of having a dominant car win a fuel mileage race?
Yeah, I mean that's usually the downside of having a great car, but if you got a big enough lead, you can maybe conserve. I mean, Roush has always been known for good fuel mileage, but I tell you what, that car was really, really strong today, and I know my crew chief was really hoping he was going to run out of gas, but you got to take your give him credit, take your hat off to him, for being able to have that good of a race car and getting good fuel mileage to make it to the end, and taking a gamble. I mean that I think they're kind of in that position where they have nothing to lose really. Jimmy's got had a big lead coming in, and those guys. I think they knew if they took a gamble and it paid off that would pay off big in the points, and unfortunately for Jimmie, that it did.
Okay, we're now joined by today's 15th place finisher of the Dickies 500, and current points leader though by 106 points, Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie, talk about your night tonight.
It's like getting kicked in the balls over and over. That sucked. First 3 runs, we were just terrible. And after that, we got the car better, and I ran on the top 4, top 6 throughout the rest of the race, but just never had a chance to get a lap back. We were close a couple times. I mean, maybe a car or 2 away, but we just got off at the start of the race, and with all the green flag running, we just couldn't get back on the lead lap. But we made the car better and ran well. Just don't have the finish to show for it.
Open up for questions. Gary, please.
Gary Graves, USA Today. First, for Jeff, when you have this kind of finish, even though you're still winless here, but when you have this kind of finish, where does it tell you where this team is going in terms of trying to get that win?
Well, I mean, we're not going to give up, that's for sure. I know it's late in the season, we haven't won yet, but that doesn't mean we're laying down. We're certainly not going to do that. We're going to, just like going for the pole on Friday, I mean, we're doing everything that we possibly can. I'd be a little bit more excited about our chances if we had run up front, and ran in that second position all night or all day. But, that was, the thing is we're gonna look at any possible way to win races, and we're gonna try to make the car go as fast as we can. And when we have that opportunity to make it on fuel, we're gonna take the opportunity, and that's what we did tonight. But I'm still disappointed that. We struggle with the handling, and I had my hands full. So some of it's me, some of it's the team and the setup, and so that's something we got to work on coming back to Texas. But I look forward to the next 2 opportunities to try to win, and tonight's an obvious sign of we can still win. No matter how the car's running, we can still win, and we'll go the next 2 and do everything we can to try to win.